This is the story on how it all started. How me being the victim of a crime ended up creating disorderly product news. Cue the music.
Disorderly product news. Disorderly product news. Disorderly product news. Disorderly product news. DIDNT.
What's going on, guys? Disorderly product news. So right here is the first video ever shot of what ended up becoming disorderly product news. This is the incident that started me and formulated or sculpted what is now today disorderly product news, right? So on May 13th of 2019, I was going through like a change in life, right? Like none of us asked to be born, right? None of us decided when we were going to be here, and none of us decide how long we're going to be here. None of us, we just showed up on the planet. We make we make bonds, we have relationships with people that we love dearly, but we don't get the choice of how long they get to stick around. So I went through an experience like that, obviously, and I started. I was in school, and I don't know. I started a new career. I opened up a business, and part of that entailed handing out information. So I had hired two guys, and I was going to drop them off this day. And when I dropped them off, I was getting out of the car at the same time. So my keys were out of the car. I put my left foot down on the pavement. Now my keys are out of the car. I put my left foot down on the pavement. I was pushing off at that moment, getting up out of my car, and I had pulled in behind a SUV. Now that SUV started backing up. It hit the front of my car while I was right in that moment of switching, putting weight on my left foot, which sent me flying back into the framework of the car. So like the bubble on the back of my head hit the framework on the car, and then like all the way down my spine, whatever, and it threw me to the ground. I got out, and I said, after I got up and like kind of braced myself, he was looking at me from the window, and he's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I think I'll be all right." I'm like, "I need your information." And he goes, no, please, man, everything's fine. I go, "I understand, though. I need your information." And he goes, no, I know you. And I didn't know this guy. I'm like, "Okay, listen, man, I'm not calling the police. I just need your information." And he says, "No, I got stuff in the car." I'm like, "Bro, I need your information." Then he just the car was already in, and he just put it in drive and took off. I jumped in my car. I went after him. I did not race him for that, or go after him, chase him for that long, because it was 3:30. There was kids just that got out of school. There was people all over the place. He's driving into oncoming traffic. It just was not worth it for me. Like, I already had his license plate number. So, like, I'm not going to hit a little kid or hit somebody in pursuit of this car. So I find police officers. I pull over. I tell them what happened. They tell me to call the 11th district. I call the 11th district. The 11th district tells me to go to the 25th district. I go to the 25th district, where that video was at. Now, when I walk in, if you see, it's a horseshoe configuration. There's computers, about 4 computers around that horseshoe configuration. There's a police officer, an officer behind each one of those computers. Now, all the computers were filled up except for that one where Officer Spain was at. So I stood about 4 feet away from the desk because she was typing on the computer, and I didn't want to, just walk up while so I stayed, and I waited for her to notice me. So maybe about 45 seconds, a minute went by. She didn't look up, and she just went, "What you want?" And I was like, oh, no. So I went up there and I said, I'd like to report an accident. And I don't know how I knew to say it. I just knew to say it. And I said, I want to report an accident involving crime and injury. And she said, okay, do you got your ID and your insurance? So I gave it to her. Now, on commonly asked questions on the CPD's website, cpd.org, it says, do you have to report an accident to the police? It says no, but if it involves injury and a crime, you should always. If it involves injury and a crime, such as hit and run, you should always. That was the exact, like, verbatim, that was my instance. The exact scenario that they put down was my circumstance. So in cpds.org, it tells you, yes, go report it, make a police report. So as I'm telling her what happened, and I'm kind of getting through the story, she understood now, and she was typing it away, and there's like a break in me talking, and I say, are you going to report this to my insurance company? Now, I kind of knew she wasn't. I was just making sure for whatever reason. She goes, no. And to myself, a throwaway comment, and I wasn't even talking to her. I go, good, because I'm not going to either. Well, she stopped doing everything she was doing. She looked at me. She threw my insurance card back down and my license back down. She goes, and I'm not taking your report. And I looked at her. I'm like, well, you don't have that discretion. Like, you have to take the report. What do you mean you're not going to take the report? Like, based on me saying I'm not going to tell my insurance company? Like, and at first it was me like, kind of astonished, but the more she just said she's not taking the report, like, I'm like, you don't have that discretion. Like, that's not up to you. Like, I need this. This is a legal document. This is how society works. If I get in an accident, you generate a legal document on my behalf so I can use it for any civil or criminal proceedings. So it's not, if you don't believe my story, that's one thing. If you think I'm just making it up, that's one thing. But because I'm not telling my insurance, like, that has nothing to do with you. So we're getting loud, right? And as you can see, it's all open. So the sergeant comes over and the sergeant yells at both of us, seemingly. She goes, both of you, shut up. And I'm quiet at the time. Officer Spain keeps yelling. Now, I got Sergeant Watt and Officer Spain yelling at me. And I'm like, oh my God. And then Officer Spain starts saying, he called me out my name, which never happened. That was just a complete lie. She just made that up. Because how is she going to justify why me and her are going back and forth? I never deviated from the topic. I'm not going to go out of my way and just call you for no reason. Like, I just wouldn't do that. Number one. And two, if I did that, everybody would have heard it. Like, the whole room would have went quiet if I said the beat. Like, that never happened. So I go to say, they're both yelling at me now. And I go, guys, why don't we calm? And I didn't get the word calm out of my mouth where Sergeant Watt, I told you to shut up. And at that, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? The guy at least said, please, that hit me. Like, I'm being treated like a criminal. All I want to do is make a report. And, like, so you don't get the report right there. But Sergeant Watt told her, because I told Sergeant Watt what happened. I said his arm was in a sling. That's important because it's an identifying factor, right? The guy also told me he didn't own the car. That was one of his 9 reasons why he could not give me the information. So I said his arm's in a sling. It's important because it's an identifying factor, right? Whoever owns this car and has insurance on the car, you're going to have to ask them, well, who did you let borrow your car, or who has access to your car that had his arm in a sling? It's not that complicated. So she directly told her to put that in the report. Now, as you heard me tell you what the report was, read that report, which I didn't get till 24 hours later. You don't get it till it's online, so I didn't get it right then. It says, Unit 2 was headed westbound on Chicago Avenue in slow traffic when Unit 1 headed westbound on Chicago struck the rear end of Unit 2's vehicle and fled the scene. Unit 2 reported he has pain from hitting his head and face on the driver's side window. No. Like, I told you guys a story. That's not what happened. Like, there's nothing in there about his arm in a sling. This has me driving on a street I wasn't even on, when in actuality I was parked. This has the damage on the complete wrong side of my car. I wasn't driving. I was parked. And that has nothing with his arm in a sling. Furthermore, this really takes the cake. She made up an accident report number. She put too many numbers in it. So when I called Major Accidents the next day to find the report, they said, because they gave me a little cue card, you'll see at the end when I show you the video, that cue card had an accident report number on it, and that was nowhere to be found because it was a made-up number. It was almost, and every officer subsequent to that I've told their accident report number to has been like, no, that's not, as soon as I said they're like, that's not a report number. No. It's almost as if I were to tell you, you ask me what my phone number is. I say 773-536-9924-829. You'd be like, dude, that's not an American phone number. Like, everybody knows that as soon as you say it. That was the reaction that I got. So it's basically this. The one time I needed the police, the one time I donated to the policeman's ball, I grew up in a neighborhood, all police officers, the one time I needed them, the one time. They treated me like a criminal, like garbage. Like, if you're going into the police station and you're not having a good day, nobody's walking in there because they want to. Like, I just got hit, I'm woozy, my car's damaged, and I got this lady yelling at me. And then I got the sergeant yelling at me. And I'm like, dude, is this really, all the money that's been taken out of my check in my lifetime for taxes, the one time I need you, this is what happens? Like, I couldn't believe it. They treated me worse than a criminal. The guy at least said please before he took off. He said please. And it was just how they acted and what they did was just so unprofessional and just so uncalled for. And it was enough. I had enough. I was done. I'm like, there's no way. And so if you take this incident and you realize that the first video I actually turned on while something was happening was when I was, again, in that same exact area going to pick these gentlemen up to take this information around. They pulled me over for no seatbelt. And they pulled me out of the car because they said I threw a weapon underneath my seat. When I needed you, you weren't there. And now you're back pulling me over, needed money then get me out of the car for something that never happened. It was enough. I was at my breaking point. I had enough. That's when this happened.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, of course.
Okay.
What do you pull me over for?
Seatbelt.
Okay.
I'll write it down for you.
All right.
Would you lean over and put under the seat when I pulled you over? Huh?
I don't answer questions, man.
Went up for me, Joseph.
Man, there's nothing underneath the seat.
When you lean over in the seat, when I pull you over,
I went to get my phone. I
don't know.
What's your reason for pulling me out of the car?
I told you, you need a seatbelt on first.
Okay, that's okay. So write me a sticker for a seatbelt.
And then when you lean over and put something that looks like you're leaning over, put something under the seat. I don't know if you're trying to hide a weapon.
Well, you need this is. It has to be a Terry stop. You need to have clear and articulable evidence that I committed a crime. Okay, what's the evidence of? Leaning over is a crime?
Trying to hide a weapon. I don't know that.
Okay, so what are you going to do? You cannot. I didn't. This is a Terry stop, right? It has to qualify as a Terry stop. You have to. I'm not getting out of the car. I didn't do anything wrong. Me leaning over and you believing I touched something means nothing. Means nothing. That's not a crime. I didn't do anything wrong.
Sir, exit the vehicle. It's okay. We're all being recorded. We're all being recorded, man.
Okay, so then why are you getting so excited that I'm recording if we're all being recorded?
That's fine. I just want to let you know.
What are you doing?
I'm patting you down.
You're allowed to do a cursory search of my person.
It's a pat down.
Why is she searching my car? Why is she? I did not give her permission to search my car. Me leaning over is not a crime. That's not exactly. You don't know. You have to have clear and articulate. You just said that. You just said the magic word. You don't know. Exactly. You don't know. And you need to have.
Oh, okay.
It's right there.
I'm sorry.
Jacqueline
Can you read
Sotelo.
You got it?
Sotelo.
CEINS.
Oh, Raising Cane's.
Oh, CANE.
Hey, Ryan. At the bottom, how's your day?
Do you have a name and a badge number?
I'm a civilian. I'm not a police.
Sarge, can I have your name and your badge number?
You want me to start?
Yeah, please. Do you don't have a business card?
No.
Okay,
Here you go.
thank you.
Sure.
So here we are outside the 25th district. This is where this is the district in which Chicago Fire is being shot in tonight. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna talk to hopefully I'll get a lieutenant. That'd be the plan. How's everybody doing tonight? Fantastic, fantastic. Remember I told you to buckle up? Have you been wearing your seatbelt? Anyways, do you have a Sergeant O'Connor 1066 star number working in this 25th district?
I do not believe that on our watch. I do not believe so.
Okay, because they're shooting Chicago Fire over there at Grand and something, and he's working, but I don't believe he's on the clock. I was just wondering, because he'd have to be in 25th district because it's 25th district.
No, it's yeah. Movie detail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
They're all from all over this.
Sergeant Awat, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. Have you gone down to the 5th floor at 3510 South Michigan yet?
Oh, what is that of your concern?
Because I'm the one that filled out the affidavit.
That's wonderful.
That's why it's my concern.
You should talk to your investigator about it.
Oh, I have been. Trust me, I have.
Okay.
So is there a Sergeant O'Connor?
I told you.
You told me that he's working on a
We
security.
don't know a Sergeant O'Connor on
So
our
you,
watch.
so you,
He's probably from a different district.
so he's probably from a different district. You're not sure. So that's what you told me. You probably. And what's your name and sergeant, sir?
Pargo, P-A-R-G-O 15096.
And now you are what?
A police officer.
Okay, there you go. Name, rank, and star number. Rule 37. CPD policy and directives. You're getting your name, rank, and star number to any member of the department or any member of the community on or off duty when asked. So Pargo, next time, sound off.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. So that's Sergeant Watt. You started Disorderly Product News, so everyone can congratulate Sergeant Watt. She started Disorderly Product News. That's the woman right there, Sergeant Watt.